Hey, this is Jessica Myers from Good Skin Waxing, waxing out of the Beauty Lounge in Aberdeen in Valparaiso, Indiana. You've read the title of the video, and so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about male Brazilians and frequently asked questions about male Brazilians. I'm going to do a little disclaimer here at the beginning of the video, okay? So I get lots of messages from men asking about male Brazilians, and I would say there's a handful that are legitimately interested in finding out the answers to these questions, and then there's a larger handful of folks that are just looking to have an inappropriate conversation with me, basically. So I'm really wary about when someone messages me. The fact is, I'm super friendly. I really want to give people information. I really want people to be comfortable when they go to get waxed. It's the same with my female clients. And I want to be helpful. However, lots of times these conversations take a turn. So unfortunately, sometimes a few bad apples ruins the whole bunch, if you know what I mean. So in terms of when you're going to get your Brazilian, if you have a male Brazilian, I would just say that the name of the game is respect, mutual respect between the esthetician and the person being waxed. Things happen, and I'll get into that later on, but it's never appropriate to touch your esthetician. It's never appropriate to make sexual comments to your esthetician or anything like that. So that's my disclaimer for this, okay? That being said, what is important to know is that just like women want to have a Brazilian done, there's nothing wrong with men wanting to have a Brazilian done. And quite honestly, sometimes people say, oh, is it some guy who's feminine or metro or whatever? And the answer is no. I can have a super, I don't know, metro guy come and get a wax. I can have a truck driver come and get a wax. So everybody wants their hair gone. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that you like it tidy down there and you like to have it all tidied up. That's all. That's all it means, okay? So if you are legitimately looking for a wax, then awesome. Welcome, and I'm going to answer your questions, okay? And I want to be helpful to you, and I want you to be comfortable, okay? So that's my disclaimer. So how to prep for your wax, it's the same as any prep for any wax, which is you need 2 weeks of hair growth, and you need to exfoliate twice per week before your wax, and also start moisturizing daily. Moisturized hair releases skin far more easily than dry skin. There's only a handful of products that I recommend for exfoliating, and they are Say Brazil Bar in a Jar, the Say Brazil Illuminating Scrub, which is a chemical and a mechanical exfoliation, which I think is the best personally in terms of removing that layer of skin that we all get and also preventing ingrowns. Next up is the Hemp's Anti-Aging Tube of Body scrub, and that has glycolic acid and then also microbeads, and I found that that's very effective also. And then finally, a good old pair of exfoliating gloves that you can pick up at CVS, Walgreens, Target, wherever. My thing with those though are that I want them to be laundered after each use, because we don't want them sitting in your wet shower and then you putting it on your body and then sitting in your wet shower and putting on your body and building up bacteria and putting on your body, and then something bad happens. So if you're gonna go that route, which probably is the least expensive route, just make sure you're laundering them regularly, okay? Got my notes over here, so so I can remember what to say. During the wax, the name of the game is holding the skin tight. So your esthetician will pull the skin and the skin only to tighten it up in order to apply wax and remove the wax. For me, I use a soft wax on the top pubic mound, and then I switch to hard wax everywhere else. Hard wax is gentler on the skin than soft wax, but soft wax is so good at getting all the hairs up. What to expect after your wax has been completed is, if it's your first wax, that is going to be the most painful wax. It is possible for you to have some short hairs left behind. And when I mean short, I mean hairs that have just emerged through the skin. And the reason they're left behind is because they're too short for the wax to grab. Like I said, you need 2 weeks of growth. So if you have a hair that's just poked through within the last week, it's not going to be removed. And quite honestly, you're going to leave that alone too, because if you decide that you're going to become a consistent waxer, you're going to want to get your hair all in the same growth cycle. When you first come in, they're on 3 different growth cycles. By your 4th wax, which with me, I have you wax 4 weeks apart, 4 waxes in a row, and then we evaluate, does this person need to come in every 3 weeks? Does this person need to come in every 4, 5, or 6? Never more than 6 though. It just depends on your rate of hair growth. So other than that, after that, the final after wax care is that for 24 hours, there's no chlorinated pool. For 48 hours, I want you you're not going to be exercising in a way where you are sweating in that area. No hot tub, no sauna, no super hot shower, nothing where you are having a lot of heat in your newly waxed area, and no touching that area, and no intercourse. And the reason I say those things is because that skin is freshly waxed, it's exfoliated, your follicles are open, and they're susceptible, especially during your first couple waxes. You don't know how your skin's going to behave. It's susceptible to bacteria, and so sometimes people may have a histamine reaction. That happens within the first it can happen immediately. Within the first 24 hours, you get like a little itchy bump. That's a histamine reaction, and that's basically your white blood cells rushing and saying, what the heck's going on? What's this trauma happening? And you get a histamine reaction. I don't ever recommend that you put anything on that unless you have Sabrazil Ouch Balm for me. That's okay. But never any kind of cortisone cream. That's not something that I recommend. What I do recommend is Papa Benadryl. That's what I would do if it were me, if it's itchy, okay? Otherwise, just leave it alone and it'll go down on its own. It's just a normal reaction. People get them on their legs. I get it every single time I wax my arms. I get little itchy dots, and I'm gonna rip my skin off. But anyways, that's life. That's waxing life. The other thing that I was talking about was bacterial. So if you're touching that area with bacteria, we all have it on our bodies, and that freshly waxed area, sweating, intercourse, that's like a combo. That's friction and bacteria. Just be nice to your waxed area for a little bit, for 48 hours, and then you're good to go. 48 to 72 hours later, I want you to begin exfoliating again, to max 3 times a week. Okay, to remove that layer of dead skin so you don't get ingrowns. If you are consistent with your exfoliating, you shouldn't get ingrowns. Some people do still suffer with them, and in that case, I have my Sabrazil Bye Bye Bump Green Cream, and then also my Bye Bump Green Cream Mask. So we have treatments for that for people who really are prone to it. I think the curlier your hair is, the more likely those ingrowns are to happen. So some people get them without shaving or waxing at all. So it's individual, but most people, it's addressed through regular exfoliation. I think that's kind of like the main part. I'm going to get into my frequently asked questions, which are the more sensitive questions that I get, okay? So the first one is in regards to erections. Let's face it, people get erections if they're nervous, if they're aroused, if the wind blows, like it happens, all right? And if you have a stranger handling your intimate area, it can happen. Not everybody, but it's common. It's common. Is it easier or harder to wax if someone has a erection? I suppose if the skin is tight, then it's going to be easier to wax, but it doesn't matter, because if it's not, your esthetician is going to tighten up the skin and remove the wax the same. So it really doesn't matter either way. Typically, if that does happen, once the hair starts being removed, it changes things. So typically that will go down and not be an issue. And it's normal. People are embarrassed by it. You don't have to be embarrassed by it. It happens. And if you are with an esthetician who is experienced in this arena, she's going to say, hopefully she's going to say, or he's going to say, it's okay, it happens. So it's not a big deal. Just relax and get back to your conversation about that you just went to Mexico or whatever. So that's normal. The next thing people ask me is, what if there is a secretion and little fizz? What is that little anatomy information is basically when someone gets an erection, their body is basically preparing for intercourse. There are two glands in there that will sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes release a clear, sticky fluid. And what that fluid is pre-ejaculate. And what pre-ejaculate's job is to basically clean out the pipes and make sure that any acidity that is in there is gone, so it's a safe environment for sperm to go, okay? And so the pre-ejaculate is something that happens, not everybody, but some people have that happen. And then the next question I usually get is about full release. And I think we all know what I'm talking about with full release. And the answer is no, that's not okay. That's not something that is normal in a waxing environment. And if someone is, in this I've had this conversation with male estheticians as well, and basically what they say is, if someone is so ultra sensitive that would happen during a waxing session, then intimate waxing is not for you, okay? You can maybe try it at home and do it on your own. I don't really recommend that, but maybe it's just not an option for you, okay? So full release is not all right. Any other questions? I'm trying to think. I think that's all of it. Anyways, I hope that this was helpful to you, okay? And I hope that it hasn't discouraged anyone from getting a wax. And I hope that it's made someone comfortable who had questions about male Brazilian waxing. It's a normal thing if you want to have it done. Lots of people would probably say that they prefer it to having hair there. Same with my female clients. Just make sure that you get yourself an esthetician who's experienced, who's professional, who's gonna make it easy when you're in there. And that's always what my job is to make people feel comfortable and make the experience easy and go by as quickly as possible. So there you have it. If you have any other questions that you want to ask, I am happy to answer them. I think that's it. So if you need a wax, let me know. I'm at the Beauty Lounge and always taking clients. And I am starting to get pretty busy, and so I would suggest, if you're looking to have a wax done, maybe contact me 2 weeks out. and usually I can find a place for you. So I hope this was informative. I hope that you enjoyed my video, and I will see you all next time with a video about advanced exfoliation. I'll see you later. Bye.